hey, just so you know, your real estate's crap. Would you be interested in repositioning? Does this math problem work for you? Because the appreciation has outpaced the rent gains.
Yeah.
Really, it's a matter of did you buy it in the 70s for $70,000 and now it's worth 2 million, right? Like I can hook you up with a wholesaler who will buy that tomorrow for cash. Now, what are we going to do with that cash? We're going to 1031 it into more properties and fix your cash flow situation. We're going to partial 1031 forward so that you can have a chunk of cash and so that you can move forward with your life. So I was in financial advice for a decade. I advised on about 300 million. And while I was in financial advice, I had all sorts of problems with people's California real estate, specifically California. But really, I realized it's a kind of a problem for any market that's really highly appreciated. And if we take it all back to the fundamentals, the fundamental real estate investment rule for buy and hold is the 1% rule, right? You should get roughly 1% of the value of your asset per rent per month. And so if you've got a $2 million asset, it should rent for something close to $20,000 a month. But it doesn't. Like in Northern California, even though that's the 1% rule, and really, if you get behind all the minutia of real estate investing, if you can just get about 1% of your value, all the other numbers line up. You can be in a landlord-friendly state. You can be in a landlord-hateful state. You can be in a bad eviction jurisdiction. You can be in a good eviction jurisdiction. You can have property managers. You can manage it yourself. If you start out at the right harbor and point your ship in the right direction, you're going to show up where you want to be eventually. But if you screw that up, and if you're not even remotely close to 1%, it's hard to fix it. It's like, hey, I started out with no boat, and there's no way to fix it. And so what I saw over and over was like, this is all I see in Northern California. Like it's $2 million, it should be renting for $20,000, and it's renting for 3,500. There's no way that math ever works. The only reason people are holding on to assets like that is for the step up in basis because of the tax treatment. They're just waiting until they die so they can pass on $2 million tax free to their heirs. But it's not helping them in retirement. They bought it as a retirement asset. They bought it in the 60s, 70s, or 80s so that they could pay their bills in retirement. And it's turned into like a legacy asset. The only value this asset has is your kids are millionaires. And the reason I ran into this is because I kept having the same conversation with financial advice clients where they're like, dude, we're kind of tight. We're super tight. Like we're living on rice and beans. We just can't afford it. I'm like, how is this even possible? You have $5 million of real estate. How are you this dang broke? Right? And it's because of these assets. Now, I can buy right now, as we sit here, a $200,000 house in Jonesboro, Arkansas, or Memphis, Tennessee, or Salisbury, North Carolina, or Ocala, Florida, that will rent for about $1,500 a month. I can do that all day long. And it's because those markets are fundamentally better cash flow markets. And because the people in those markets, like the renters and the buyers, are similar socioeconomically, where the buyers here in Northern California have lost their minds or have infinite money, where the renters are still working two jobs. Does that make sense? Like socioeconomically, it has depegged and they've just like flown into the stratosphere, right? Where we can take this $2 million asset and even after fees and stuff, we could go buy 10 houses at $1,500 a month and get $15,000 a month of rent. And that is on the market, MLS. I can find these houses all day, every day. What I'm looking for is, do you have a rental that's cash flow sucks? Because that person has all sorts of problems I can fix. Number one, I can fix their cash flow, which is huge in their retirement. Number two, I can fix their tax situation because this person, if they're this broke, they're going to try to hold on to that till death, but they're going to have to sell that thing probably when a chronic injury happens or chronic long-term care happens. They're going to have to sell that when they realize to get into a long-term or chronic care facility is $350,000, right? And $9,000 a month that they were not spending. They may have to get into that asset. And when the day comes that they have to get into that asset, they were like, okay, I'll just refi it. When the bank looks and sees that it's a negative cash flowing asset, they might not be able to refi it. So they may have a rude awakening coming where they literally can't get the value out of that to go into long-term or chronic care. Whereas if we did this plan, we just do a 1031 exchange, we go buy this, we push the taxes forward, we don't destroy them, right? They go buy 10 good assets. When they need to go into chronic or long-term care, they sell one of these houses. Instead of a $2 million single year windfall tax hit, they have a $200,000 single year windfall tax hit. Doesn't screw
Okay.
up their Medicaid, doesn't screw up their Social Security, doesn't screw up all their other financial obligations because they've broken that tax thing into multiple chunks. They could even sell one of those houses every year for the next 10 years and spread that tax liability over a period. Number three, inheritance. The first thing we're solving is cash flow. We're taking your cash flow from 3,500 bucks a month to 15,000 bucks a month. If you can't get behind me on that, then I'm not your guy. Number two, taxation. We can spread the tax liability over a longer period of time. And number three, inheritance. If you leave behind this $2 million house and you have three kids, Jeremy, Brent, Bo, right? And Brent is doing great. He works for Google. He makes $700,000 a year. He does not need the money. Jeremy, super broke. Bo, hyper broke, right? And they get on a call after mama dies and they say, well, what are we going to do with a $2 million rental that's total hot trash? And all of a sudden it's like, well, Brent doesn't need the money. And it's actually mama's house. Mama raised us in that house. Now it's a rental. Now we haven't lived there for 30, 40 years, but it's mama's house. I don't want to sell mama's house. Maybe Brent really sticks his foot in the ground. Like, I don't want to sell it. And Jeremy and Bo were broke and it cankers the relationship, right? If we had just set this up better up front and bought 10 houses, Brent gets four houses, Jeremy gets four houses, Bo gets a big lunk of cash and two houses, right? It's much easier to divide this up in the long term. We're looking for people with properties in Northern California, Southern California, Portland, Seattle, New York. We're looking for highly appreciated markets where the rents suck. And then we're looking to mail those people and say, hey, can we fix your cash flow? How would you like to go from 3,500 bucks a month to 15,000? How would you like to talk about the tax liabilities that you've got that we can help with? How would you like to set up an inheritance plan for your real estate? But more than anything, can we help you fix your cash flow? We've done 5,000 houses over the last 20 years. So we have systems and teams in the market. For example, in Memphis, we have a rehabbing team we work very closely with. When they're done rehabbing a property, 100% turnkey, they let us know it's done. We find a buyer. In Jonesboro, Arkansas, we're getting a lot of stuff from realtors that are feeding us really good stuff. In Ocala, Florida, we're buying most of our stuff through new builders when they want to get out of it. We have quite a few systems where we go to buy houses. So we have a pretty good bead on all the new houses we could possibly need. What we need is clients who want to improve their cash flow or want to start investing in real estate, who want long-term buy and hold with mostly passive income. If you want to watch something else that kind of is in this vein of how to find the right property, what works well, I would watch Never Buy Rentals Here. I posted that about 9 months ago, but what I did is I actually shared my computer screen and jumped through Zillow and took multiple different markets and said, here's what a good market looks like, here's what a bad market looks like, here's what a good house looks like, here's what a bad house looks like. And I tried to boil it all down to one or two numbers that are easy to get to say, is this even a deal worth doing or not? If you want to see that, Never Buy Rentals Here, I will post it right here. You have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.